kill one of these, untap, activate, and attack for the win.
The land is going to do it. Which you would not guess by looking at Kyle right now. He does not look like he's eagerly about to destroy someone.
Just break your Arid Mesa and equip with it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Hey, here's 2 mistakes you could make for me.
Yep.
West Coast says no thanks. Terminate for the Stoneforge Mystic.
So hot.
Run it so hot, you hear Carl say.
Sorry, my turn.
He's not lying. He is.
Right, Ravine.
Yep.
So that Ravine is 5/5. Counter, and that is it. So Kyle Bogomez takes a 2-1 lead.
And then I imagine we're going to be cutting back to the 18-0 match.
Yeah, your imagination is pretty eager and pretty correct. Luis Scott Vargas is getting ready to face an elimination match against Simon Gertzen of Germany. Kyle Bogomez takes a 2-1 lead, and so we are going to head back to the matchup for history. History for one of them. Will it be LSV or will it be the German Simon Gertzen? Incidentally, if you're pretty new to the game, all these top 8 players, they play Friday Night Magic at their local store, but you may not know where that is. So if you want to get down this Friday or any other, the place to come, you're already on the right website, wizards.com/ only 3 letters you need to know, FNM. FNM gives you Friday Night Magic. So wherever you are in the world, you can find the nearest store to you, find out what Pro Tour champions are just turning up every Friday to play. We did a feature with Brian Kibler and Pat Sullivan about Sky High Comics outside of San Diego earlier in the weekend.
If you were going to FNM this weekend for a standard event, what deck would you bring from this event?
Alright, are we waiting until
Well, I think I'd probably like to play the Zvi deck. Just because it's a Zvi deck, you know?
Alright.
I kind of would like to try to tinker around with that Open the Vaults deck a little bit.
Interrupted Magic.
Maybe add a little extra mana.
So
we're underway here. Let's look at this.
So LSV must win this game. He has not faced this scenario at all this weekend.
Worth noting, LSV started this game on 5 cards. Did not look like a full hand when they started.
So Arid Mesa and Terramorphic Expanse for LSV on the left of your screen. On the right we have Forest and Ragnarskull Summit for Gertzen, leading 2-1. Is he going to succeed where 17 others have failed this weekend? He did indeed. LSV begin with just 5 cards.
Need some more lands?
The master is going to have to be the master. Because we are deep in the 4th quarter and he is down a touchdown.
Be careful there. You don't want him to defriend you.
I'm not going to post anything about it. That's what he said, right?
Here's a Knight of the Reliquary.
What's this one?
Comes down as a 4/4.
I will tell you afterwards if you'd like to know. Pretty sure about it. Your turn.
So over we go to Gertzen, and he has a lot of cards in hand, a luxury that the champion does not.
There's a Death Mark, one of those cards.
And the board is empty once again.
Go.
Luis, pretty unexcited Noble Hierarch, although potential mana down the line. Gertzen on the right of your screen, LSV on the left. Do you get more or less nervous when you're facing someone who's mulliganing to 5 and you need that game for victory?
I get much more nervous.
Yes, so do I. I think this would be so shameful. I'm on the draw, he's at 5. I can do this!
Yeah, it probably comes, it's an equal and opposite reaction to feeling too cocky about it. When I first started playing Magic, someone mulligans, you're like, yes! And then they beat you.
Yes.
So now I just always expect that. There's a range of reveals. Unmulliganing for Luis Scott Vargas.
Exactly, there's the card advantage back, as it were. Wildner Cattle. And what else do we see?
And
We
the
see
scoop
the
mob.
scoop mob, yeah. Thrynax for Goertzen. But he is being given the time to recover. It would seem at the moment. That said, if Goertzen can run into Broodmate Dragon plus PAL, that will make the board look extremely different in a couple of turns' time. But as things stand, LSV playing with just 5. It's coming back into it. There you see Goertzen trying to navigate his way into the Pro Tour final with Bloodbraid Elf cascading into, yet again, as it always seems to be, Sprouting Thrynax. And he sends the Elf and the Thrynax in. Range Reveals has done its job for LSV and will block. There's another Manland for Goertzen. He now has double Raging Ravine there. Wardner Cattle and Birds of Paradise for Luis. Looking at LSV's hand, he's got plenty of good stuff in there. So Lightning Bolt, Scoop Mob, another Wildner Cattle, and what looks like a Behemoth Sledge. Goertzen has another Bloodbraid Elf back to back.
Into Deathmark.
Now, what does he get rid of here?
I think he's got to get rid of the mana creatures.
So the question is, does the Hierarch have more value because it grants Exalted, or does the Birds of Paradise have more value because it flies and can potentially chunk block a dragon, something like that?
Well, I think he knows that Luis has to consider blowing up one of his lands, so I don't think it matters that much. I think he's just trying to keep him off, yeah.
So away goes Birds of Paradise.
Which gives him red. Actually, that's the important, deal.
So there's a trade there, and Luis is at 10. And the way he said it was not promising, and there goes Noble Hierarch as well. Goertzen liking the look of the situation right now. 6 power of men on the table.
Go.
Dauntless Escort.
That is a 3-3. It can trade, but Goertzen will get 3 back. Look at Goertzen's hand. Broodmate, Bloodbraid Elf, and Siege Gang Commander. All gas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Raging Ravine goes in to join the 2 Sprouting Thrynax. Luis looks
like he's thinking about laying it down right here. I mean, I don't know what he can do.
Is this the moment that the journey ends? It is! Goertzen wins!
Good luck.
Goertzen wins by 3 games to 1
Tectonic Edge
over Luis Scott Vargas of the United States. The mulligan to 5. He had the cards in hand. The Range Reveals looked to bring him back into game. Not much to say about this. Well, there is something to say about this, Simon Goertzen. You are the 18th man who has stood opposite Luis Scott Vargas, but wowee, you are the first one to take him down. You go down in history, my friend. Wow, that is pretty extraordinary stuff. Goertzen wins 3 games to 1. Not what we were expecting.
It's not what we were expecting. 17 wins in a row, the longest winning streak in an individual Pro Tour history. But in the end, it's the last 2 matches that were the ones LSV really wanted to win, and Simon Goertzen got it done.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do, we're going to take you back down to the other semi-final where we have Bogomers against Wesco. There you see them, and they are getting ready for their game 4. So the players are just about to get away. They're checking that the excitement has subsided from semi-final 1. Wow, the shockwaves of that are going to go around the world for sure. Luis Scott Vargas turns 17-0 into 17-1. And the deck malfunctioned at a critical time, down to 5. And so we are gearing up to find out who will face Simon Goertzen of Germany in the Pro Tour San Diego final. Which American will be left standing when we come back for the championship match? Will it be Carl Bogomers, you see there on the left of your screen? Or will it be 27-year-old Craig Wesco?
Yeah.
So these 2 players just about to get underway in game 4. Wesco begins.
LSV said he would have lost the under on 1 machete in the top 8. So I think a lot of people would have lost that under.
Yeah. I bet Jace was going to be the most played card in top 8 from World Weight.
Nope. Boy, was I wrong about that.
Stoneforge Mystic turns out to be the answer to that trivia question. What is the most played world weight card? There you see Basilisk Collar.
Pretty big too.
Double Core Skyfisher.
It's either one of those two cards though for sure.
Well, looks like an Elspeth on the left of hand.
It is.
It is indeed.
So I don't know if people realize this, but Craig Wesco is all that stands between the world and a Jund on Jund finals.
Go Craig. Go Craig. I didn't say that.
Yeah, I guess for me.
Jund represented round about 27% of the field
Yeah, he has at least
so
one.
heading towards a third of the field.
I think he
Basically
has
what happened,
two or
it's the
three
usual
out.
backpack theory. Everyone turns up ultimately on the night before with a rucksack, and they have two decks. And they have a deck that they quite like and would quite fancy playing, and that's maybe Mono Red or Vampires or Bant or Boston or whatever. And then they have a Jund deck. They have 75 Jund sleeved up. And on the morning they decide whether they can face running the deck they like but think isn't quite as good as Jund. And in the end, a lot of people just gravitated to what they knew.
Well, in talking to the Japanese players, a lot of them chose Jund because they just didn't feel like anything beat it consistently.
Absolutely.
They thought it's still the best deck until something proves itself. We're not going to go another direction. But it's also interesting to note a lot of those notable Japanese players did not have strong finishes this weekend.
Yeah, there was a little Japanese red herring as well, because a couple of weeks out we were hearing about a lot of allies being purchased by Japanese players. It was interesting to see that, you know, the Juari Shapeshifter, the clone ally, was just being bought up in droves and being shipped to Japan, you know, in shipping containers full of the things, right? So Great Sable Stag, you see there, coming down. We've got
so this is
Skyfisher.
the trained Armadon plan from Kyle. I'm going to put down 3/3 green creatures, and I don't think he can deal with them.
Basilisk Collar, Oblivion Ring, Trusty Machete, and Elspeth, plus a Plains. I think maybe he can. But he needs to, because he is 2-1 down. After a blisteringly quick game 1, he has fallen behind. And now Core Skyfisher is equipped with the Basilisk Collar, comes in through the air. And at the moment, the Death Touch is not relevant, but the life gain is. Swapping the life totals round. And Great Sable Stag for Kyle sits there.
I imagine it'll attacks.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, Bloodbraid Elf. I cascade into